very warm welcome to our hospital. I'm Sherwood McCaskey. As always, thanks for joining us. The 2023-2024 estimates of expenditure presents a figure of $139 million to be spent on our hospital. However, there is always the need for partnership and collaboration if our hospital is to realize its full potential and provide the best patient care possible. Oh yes, there is always something special about giving. In fact, there is a sense of fulfillment and accomplishment when you have given to a worthy cause. Our hospital remains a worthy cause here on our island, and you are encouraged to give to it. The latest organization to give to our hospital is the Sail for Sight charity. Ex-Chairman Dick Stout places that gift in perspective, but not before he declares,
so it's good to be here at the culmination of this long event. We started talking about it early in 2018 between the Lions and the doctors in the ophthalmology department. Several people participated, and it became an opportunity to interact with a lot of different people. Thousands of people got involved with this event. The official launch on World Sight Day in October 18 was held right here, I think, not in this room, but in this department. And it kicked off the whole process. We had some good press coverage for that event, which, thank you press, that helped considerably in the whole fundraising event. And along the way, we met many people demonstrating the goodwill for the QEH, just expressed, and support for the ophthalmology department's mission to provide better vision for Barbadians. Support came from Lions, BYC, that's the Barbados Yacht Club, Barbados Sailing Association, government ministries, suppliers, and many individuals, as well as the ophthalmology department. I used to stumble on that name, ophthalmology. Well, I even learned how to spell it. And the doctors practicing here. So let me just give you a breakdown of how we raised the funds. About $5,000 was raised by selling T-shirts like this one. Unfortunately, none are no longer available, but anybody want to get a special edition, I will sell it to you for a nice price. The Soca for Sight dance gathered wide support from artists. I think Druitt here was instrumental in organizing that, much appreciated. And many volunteers and many people attended and enjoyed themselves. That raised about $40,000. The silent auction held in conjunction with the dance raised another $18,000, mainly through the generosity of the people who donated prizes to the auction. But the bulk of the funds came from individuals and corporate donations, amounted to $162,000. Expenses, this is general expenses, was limited to $3,000. And that reflects the contributions from all the people who helped. They covered their costs, and they provided the help with basically very little cost to the administration of the event. Bill undertook the sail around the island on October 13th, 2019. Seems like a long time ago. And again, there were many volunteers participating, and we extended our thanks to all. And we extend our thanks to all, including the artists and the Blind Association who performed at that event. We had a blind calypsonian. After we wound it up, we had collected a net of $228,000. But since then, I think some more funds have been received. Many people contributed to the event. I think Bill Temple represents the sailors, and Adrienne Norton, who put in an amazing effort, represents the rest of the volunteers who all made contributions to this event. Adrienne was there at the beginning, and she was involved with arranging this event today. So she was been there for the full duration of the thing. By thanking Bill and Adrienne, I thank the public who supported the event. By thanking the ophthalmology department, I thank the entire QEH and the entire government for their support. It's a pleasure now to say we can close Sail for Sight. And I thank you for inviting me to say a few words at this event. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Dr. Sherwin Benskin, who headed the ophthalmology department when the idea was first conceptualized, speaks of the importance of the gift and how Barbadians will benefit from its use. He also underscores the importance of philanthropy.
This shows that philanthropy really can make a difference, and I'll explain to you. So this is indeed a memorable occasion for the hospital and for Sail for Sight. When this project was first brought to my attention as head of the department, I was very excited because of the prospects for fundraising. Needless to say, the effort was indeed great, with, as you heard, over $200,000 being raised. And this is a time for celebration. Initially, the purpose of the funds was to equip additional eye suites on the 3rd floor. However, this has proved very difficult for a number of reasons, but the purchase of this equipment will have quite a similar effect on eye care in Barbados. So, and I will explain that further. So prior to this, we were unable to image the eye in many important forms. You must forgive me here for digressing into some medical, in the medical area, but that's the only way I can explain this. Now, the services for imaging the eye had to be outsourced and patients had to pay. Now, the hospital also made this available. Who could not pay would also get the benefit of the hospital paying for them, but this took a little while. If you can imagine an institution like a hospital being unable to image anything in the body, then you can understand how important this piece of machinery was, because prior to this, we were mostly unable to image the eye. So this donation it will have quite a profound effect. Now, when it was suggested, that we needed an outlet for the funds, I suggested that we acquire an OCT, which is an optical coherence tomographer. OCT is the short. We all say OCT. So this machine that we acquired can perform OCT, which is an image where the eye is cut into bits, so to speak, so that you can take the retina, which is the nerve layer of the eye, and examine all of the layers. Now, OCTs have been in existence for over 15 years, and they've gotten progressively better. This one is quite advanced, and so you can almost image the layers of the eye at a microscopic level. So this is quite impactful. I'll explain further, but let me digress a bit to show you the importance of this donation. I have scoured my brain looking at all of the eye departments throughout the English-speaking Caribbean, and I cannot recall one that has this sort of capability. It is usually reserved in these islands for private patients rather than public patients, because institutions cannot afford OCTs. So OCT, I'll explain to you further the importance of OCT. OCT is pivotal in the diagnosis of multiple eye conditions. Because it is easy to do, it is non-invasive, the patient actually rests their chin on a machine, and it's an optical scan, which means, to put it simply, the machine sends light into the patient's eye, and that is interpreted. So let me take you through a list of some of the diseases that the OCT can help us treat. I put glaucoma at the top, not because it's the most important, but because it is impactful. So the OCT can image the optic nerve. Now we know that glaucoma, which is high pressure in the eye, impacts on the optic nerve by destroying nerve fibers. The OCT can provide a quite in-depth look at the optic nerve and can also give us quantitative data on optic nerve damage progression, monitoring of treatment, and the success of surgery. Macular edema. Now, the macula is very important. It's a particular part of the retina that if you have fluid there, it impacts on our vision. Age-related macular degeneration, which is wear and tear changes, a genetic defect, wear and tear changes as you get older. And a lot of you may have heard of patients receiving intravitreal injections, which are injections in the eye for age-related macular degeneration. This is quite a common thing. Macular holes. OCT can also diagnose macular holes. In fact, when the clinician looks in the eye, and some of the macular holes are so minute that the only instrument that can diagnose these would be the OCT. Vitreomacular traction, all of these are diseases of the macula. Sometimes the macula gets a little crunched up membrane on the top. We can also use OCT to quantify this membrane and to predict, for most part, the success of surgery. As I said before, presently our OCT was being outsourced. So, I mean, this is quite profound. One of the most important uses of OCT, and I must mention this, is the monitoring and treatment progression and treatment success of diabetic macular edema, which is probably our #1 site taker in the eye clinic here and in Barbados, closely followed by glaucoma, of course, wet age-related macular degeneration, and other macular diseases. So to break this down, basically if a patient has diabetes, the blood vessels are weak, it leaks at the macula, we can use the OCT to say definitively, yes, this patient has macular edema. We treat with injections in the eye that, for the most part, resolves the edema, and OCT is used in all countries of the world, basically, to guide treatment and treatment success. So as you can see, without this, we were way behind and out of the up-to-date treatments for this sort of condition.
Well, we cannot thank the Sale for Sight charity enough. That leads us directly to a grateful executive chair who, in introducing the minister, contextualizes the gift by speaking of the pivotal role the hospital plays in ophthalmic care. She notes the importance of this donation to the hospital and recognizes the minister's contribution in the promotion of the philanthropic efforts for the benefit of all.
A lot of people don't recognize that in terms of ophthalmology care, the doctors here at the hospital, and we have two with us this afternoon, Dr. Benskin, Dr. Nigel Barker. Most of the ophthalmology care, Nigel, it's 90% of the ophthalmology care. We don't have an extensive program in the primary care system. So just about everything significant and substantive in terms of public eye care comes to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and comes to physicians such as the physicians in this room. I know Dr. Nigel Barker was instrumental with this committee. He chaired and worked with the team, helped to identify the need for the piece of equipment. The original thought was that this investment was going to be made in the Lions Eye Care Center. And in fact, when we went through COVID and we recognized we were delayed in that project, very correctly so, Dr. Barker would have recognized the importance then of investing in state-of-the-art equipment so as to provide the best care for the people of Barbados. And in this regard, a champion for philanthropy has been our Minister of State, the Honorable Sonia Brown. From the time she took up the position of Minister of State, she really identified philanthropy as one of the areas that could significantly benefit the hospital. And just about every philanthropic initiative, no matter how busy she is, she either gets involved directly or she's here to make sure the contributors feel the appreciation of the hospital. And I want to commend her for taking this on and seeing the value of this initiative. I now hand over to her to talk to us more about philanthropy and the importance of these initiatives to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
My role here, of course, is to thank you from the bottom of my heart, not only on behalf of the Ophthalmology Department and the Queen Elizabeth Hospital's board, but also definitely on behalf of the patients who would definitely benefit from an initiative like this. This is the second time I have been present for a donation of this type of piece of machinery. I would keep it simple, OCT machine. And it tells me that Barbados definitely is moving forward with respect to eye care. We are trying our best in the QEH to make all of these measures important. Apart from that, I want to speak a little bit on philanthropy. Sail for Sight, of course, like all our other donors, represents the true meaning of the word philanthropy, a word which finds its origin in Greek and is translated to mean love of mankind. Phil meaning love, anthropos meaning mankind, humankind. For it is only by love, caring, compassion that efforts like these are born. It is well recognized that financial support and donations of equipment and supplies is critical to institutions like the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Being a public hospital, the only public hospital on island, which is largely non-profit in origin, philanthropy is vital and is absolutely necessary for the hospital to maintain its high level of care. However, the culture of philanthropy, in my view, can no longer be considered as only for those who are wealthy or for those organizations that can carry out large fundraising capacity, but the QEH recognizes that people also have different capacities to give and varying reasons for giving to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Many have given as a result of having experienced firsthand or through a relative the care given by our staff. And this is not limited to doctors and nurses, but includes all staff, maids, laundry staff, orderlies, kitchen staff, all staff. The QEH recognizes that these varying capacities for giving and is creating more seamless, and I thank Gay Howell for this, more seamless portals through which the community, local and abroad, can become involved in giving and giving back. We have recognized over the years that several people who had attempted to give to the hospital, whether it be of kind or finance or equipment, there were a few stumbling blocks in their way, and some even got frustrated enough to pull back on the efforts that they were attempting to make. So we're trying to put things in place where the process of donating to the QEH is as seamless as we can possibly get it. And I want to give kudos to Ms. Gay Howell on that effort, as well as the board of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. I believe that philanthropy should be elevated at the level of the executive agenda. And I'm encouraging the board of the hospital, ably led by our executive chair, to make it so. In closing, I'm a woman of very few words. I want to encourage those who have benefited from our care to give back, even if in kind. I want to encourage all in the community to join the efforts of the board and staff in uplifting the hospital, just like Sail for Sight is doing now. Philanthropy is a gift. No matter how small, we can build on it and make life better for someone else, which in turn build better communities. Once again, I wish to say thank you for your gift, Sail for Sight, which will be put into good use to assist our patients. And of course, we look forward to further collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Minister. We are here in this space this morning because the size of the equipment doesn't allow us to display it in any other location than the location that it is meant to be used. So thank you all of you for trekking through our very busy and heavily subscribed ophthalmology clinic, for coming here this morning with us to be able to benefit this. Ms. Norton is very nicely reminding me that another important part of this donation is the commitment on the part of the hospital to really join this sponsorship with the provision of optical technician. We have really already sought the post to be established as part of our establishment. It is a new skill. It exists in the private sector that doctors like Dr. Barker and Dr. Benskin have the assistance of a technician. But here within the hospital, a lot of people don't realize that our doctors do a lot of the work. They set up the equipment, they manage it, they do the patient care, and then even do some of the maintenance. So we thought that clearly was something that we needed to address as an institution. So how we are going to support this initiative as an institution is to provide an optical technician to be part and parcel of this donation, so that we're able to have someone who's working, managing, caring for this piece of equipment and other pieces of equipment, so that we can ensure the longevity of this equipment. And I want to thank you, particularly Silver Sight, for asking for that level of core sponsorship as an institution, which we are very happy and pleased to do. So I want to thank you for your foresight as a grouping. Thank you very much.
Well, as expected, there was a demonstration showing its capabilities and how Barbadians will benefit from this gift.
Don't blink. Don't move. Any extra? All right. Alright, you can sit back. So this is just showing the layers of your retina. You said you had it done before, and it looks normal. And this is a picture of the fundus back of your eye. This is your optic nerve and your macula. Let me move. You done, right? Yes.
Let's see if the minister has an eye.
She lets off and get better for better scan, but
Minister has a normal retina.
yes, it should.
Good news, our hospital is now equipped to perform non-invasive imaging tests that use light waves to take cross-section photos of the retina. Sail for Sight Charity has given to our hospital. You too may also give. I'm Sherwood McCaskey. This has been Our Hospital. Thanks for your time.